this is John for MTG Nexus, coming at you with some more Incinerator burn with the green splash on the sideboard. As a friendly reminder, if you like modern lightning bolt based content, whether it be burn, Jund, Death Shadow, etc., please consider subscribing to the channel, as we aim to be the most informative modern channel on YouTube's, with just a hint of Pioneer and Legacy on occasion. So, this is the same list we ran last league. This was based off of Bosiedon from the Burn Discord. He's also had a 5-0 or 2 with a very similar list. Main deck, very similar to what we've been running, except we cut one Seal of Fire and one Chandra's Incinerator to get 2 copies of Searing Blaze in the list, and the mana base has been kind of fixed here to get a green splash in the deck. We shaved a Sunbaked Canyon and a Fiery Islet to make room for their fetch land and shock land. This time being Stomping Ground for the green splash of 3 copies of D-Rev, which gives you a little bit more utility. And certainly over something like Wear Tear, which obviously destroys the thing but doesn't deal damage. Destructive Revelry does deal damage, which is nice. Then 2 copies of Klothys, which is good in some grindy matchups, good against Snow, good against Jund. Fairly decent against the Burn Mirror as well, though we did not get a chance to deploy it the one time in the last video, but we were able to play it. Other than that, 4 copies of Skullcrack against anti-life gain measures, 4 copies of Path to Exile because the tribal matchups, even though when you land an Incinerator are pretty good, they're a little bit weaker now without the Blaze effects in the main deck, as well as Lightning Helix, so you're a little bit weaker in terms of gaining life or dealing with creatures on a positive basis if you don't have an Incinerator. So 4 Path to Exile kind of help close that gap. And then whereas Bosiedon was running 2 copies of Rest in Peace, I'm running 2 copies of Core Firewalker, because frankly I've been running across more decks with red cards in them, whether it be Goblins, whether it be Burn Mirror, and also I tend to bring in Core Firewalker in matchups where I'm expecting Leyline of Sanctity like ad nauseam. So, as opposed to Rest in Peace, which in my opinion is really only something you want to bring in against usually Dredge or dedicated graveyard decks. Some people bring in Rest in Peace against Snow and stuff. I just don't think it's worth fighting them on that axis. I think Klothys does a much better job of trying to control the graveyard and keep Uro from coming back in the mid to late game. So that said, let's get rolling on our second league with this particular deck list. Back here for match number 1, we are on the play, which is usually important for Burn, especially. Guito, I believe I've played against this individual before, I just don't remember what. Urion. 1, 2, 3. 3 lands. 2 lands. Is this hand good enough in the dark against a Urion deck? I don't think so. It's 4, 8, 14. I think this hand's much better-ish. Probably put back Searing Blaze here. Incinerator obviously could be really awkward depending on the situation. So like I said, this name seems familiar, but I'm not quite sure why. Okay, Bolt, sure. Incinerator, maybe I should have kept Searing Blaze instead, but it looks like we're up against either Team Wreck or Team Escape Shift, so. Two bolts. Yep, that's going to be rough to beat. Again, we're out playing really weird because of Chandra's Incinerator. And Swift Spear is pretty bad. Codal coming down. Nope, just Growth Spiral. Alright, so it looks like we are up against a variant of Teamer Shift. Potentially still could be Teamer Wreck. We're an N6, and they're tapping low. Cool. Last turn. Okay, that goes to 5 here. Sure. Okay, you're about to die, and that's fine. Has trample and all that mess. Alright, so Teamer Shift. Probably bring in these guys. Probably bring in... Okay, and our opponent scoops. Nice. Nice to take a win off of a snow variant here. Back here for match number 2. We're on the play again. And it's pretty good overall. Even if we rip an early elemental, it gets even better, so... Three lands, not the most ideal, especially with the Stomping Ground kind of revealing our extra splash, but, you know, this progression overall is pretty nice, especially if Swissbeard doesn't die, so... Excuse me. Put it for 1. See if I can probably like pass this or something. Choose not to. Okay. Basic island. Okay. That shock bolt. Why would you... Why would you risk this? Like, what's the point of waiting to bolt? Didn't even use the mana, so why shock? So confused. Okay, it looks like maybe this is blue-red, like Kiln Fiend or something. Yeah. That makes sense now. Ish. Okay. Last turn. Opponent. Okay, opponent could have been holding up Spell Snare there. I guess that makes some amount of sense. Alright, and our opponent skips. Kiln Fiend. Anywho, figure Path Exiles will be pretty decent here. Boros Charms can probably come out. Not figuring they'll have a lot of life gain. D-Rev. Maybe if we see like Dragon's Claw out of them. Clothis feels a little too cute here. This isn't really about grinding. This is about killing their one or two threats and then just killing them. Interesting to see what our opponent does here. What you got over there, friend? I'm sure we're not disconnected. So, what are the thoughts on the list so far? Like, obviously this version was a little bit more all-in. Sideboard, a little bit like less Path to Exile-y stuff, a little bit more creature stuff. Really kind of hard to say which one's better. Like the Green Splash, obviously it's not free in terms of life, in terms of like where we were running 6 fetches, the full 4 Inspiring Vantage. You know, mana base was a little less painful, but you know, if you hit your 2 Sunbaked Canyons or Sunbaked Canyon Fiery Islet draw, it could be awkward. Whereas this version, you're much less likely to draw multiple copies of Sunbaked Canyon. But how many of these equal 1 fetch shock for a green source, etc. So, alright, so looking at this hand, can't keep the 5-lander, even if it has 2 interactive spells. So, what you got, friendo? But yeah, like this version, you know, more fetch lands, another shock land to the pile with the Green Splash. I certainly think Klothys can be good in a lot of spots, but I also think that something like Shrine of Burning Rage, I don't think I currently own any, but alright, we're back for the recording. I think I must have accidentally hit a button that stopped the recording, but fortunately we didn't miss much. I mulliganed the 7-card hand. It just wasn't good. This hand, it does have the risk of being a 1-lander. Not sure if my opponent's double queuing or what they're doing. So, okay. I have like peak or something. Zero visions. So I could get cute and attack with Swift Spear this turn instead of Goblin Guide. Second land's like an ideal draw, but if they put a land on top, more power to them. I'm not gonna play around them getting a free land. Nope, they had a Killing Fiend, sure. Sure. So I'm going to get a little cute here. I'm going to play this first, see if they have a... Just get it dead. Just get it dead. Mutagenic Growth. Okay. So I guess they could still have Disrupting Shoal plus a card. Okay, looks like that answer is no. So fortunately for us, our Seal of Fire still ended up doing 2 damage because of mutagenic growth, so we didn't really lose any damage equity. Incinerator obviously would have been great. Chandra's Incinerator, blah blah blah. Looks like they're just taking this turn to develop stuff. No, they have a Spire Bluff Canal to play at least. And they concede. Alright. Pretty swift 2-0 overall. On to the next match. Back here for match number 3. We're on the play again, which is nice. This hand's fine. It's one of the hands that's got a pretty decent chance of playing a turn 3 or 4 Incinerator should we happen to draw it in the first couple draw steps. When it is on Gobos. Probably gotta take Seal of Fire maybe. A slightly more updated version of Gobos. Okay. Snoop to go doll. Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yo. 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 Bow wow wow yippee yo. Trigger. Harbinger, go get Sling Gang. Alright, let's not give them extra information. Let's just attack. Summons. Go get Tarfire. Ringleader. Why wouldn't you get Slingman Commander there? Awkward. Alright. Actually beat Goblins in kind of a grindy affair here. Game 1. Definitely want the paths. Do I want core firewalkers? Also might be interested in D-Revs, because they usually have chalices. So bring these 7 in. Go down Boros, Charms, and Eidolons. And then do I want a Firewalker or do I want a Clothester 2? Maybe a Clothester 2, go down. Go Lava spike here. Seems crazy, but these games can be incredibly grindy. So this might be a Clothis in matchup. Hello there. See what they take. Okay, so we're on the Incinerator plan. Hopefully they don't have turn 2 Snoop here. Looks like it's turn 2 Snoop Doggy Dog, yep. Oh well. I'm gonna take the gamble that they don't have the combo, so. If they do, they do. It was a gamble. Actually, I should have made them show me the Kiki-Jiki, but, you know, whatevs. This hand's a mulligan, unfortunately. This hand is not great, but I can keep it. Kiki-Jiki on top. Not where they want it. Position, sure. I'll take Rift Bolt. Brutality would be bad. Tarfire, sure. Okay. Sure. Where do you go get? Sling Gang Commander? Or Sling Gang Lieutenant here? Awkward. Okay, land, please. Yeah, okay. Fortunately, they have Ringleader. Or Snoop Doggy Dog. We have no way to blow up the combo anyway, so we are going to close this and hope it's good enough. You have the combo, you have the combo. They have Kiki Jiki in hand, so the Boggart isn't good enough. Yep, there's Ringleader. Alright, unfortunate loss to Goblins. On to the next match. Back for match number 4. On the play. Select play first. Sand is pretty darn good. Against a lot of decks. We got a Mana Dork covered with Searing Blaze on to. Most progressions of Goblin Guide and the Blaze or Goblin Guide and Eidolon are pretty good. So. Okay, so Dredge is going to be a little bit rough, but, you know. C'est la vie. Last turn. Hopefully they don't have a Dredger. They even try to Dredge. Okay. This is the kind of matchup we are going to miss. Having Rest in Peace then, though. Bloodghast? Sure. I guess they wanted to draw Haggle. Makes sense, I suppose. Okay, got a Bloodghast back, sure. I'm not sure you necessarily want to bring that back here. Okay. So do we even attack this particular matchup? Because we're not having Rest in Peace can certainly hurt. Probably want the Skullcracks. Probably want Clothis, as slow a card as it is. These 6 minimum can go out. We could potentially bring in Path, but Path opens up its own can of worms, which isn't necessarily great. So I guess we submit like this. Ish. Sand's garbage. 4 lands, just too many. 5 lands, equally too many. Guess we keep this hand and gamble. So, a couple gambles we can take. We can go try to do the Swift Spear, aggro them out plan, which could be difficult. Also could hold on to Clothis, hope to hit runner lands. Or we could go for the higher Hail Mary of Chandler's Incinerator. I think on 5 I just put these two back and kind of go for the Hail Mary. Obviously, Dredge isn't a deck that needs a particularly large amount of stuff to do things, so only 2 lands doesn't seem ideal for them. Land for us would be great. Alright, I mean, I guess we take the gamble. We have 2 chances at the gamble, I suppose. Keep forgetting their upkeep stop. Okay. Yep, they're gonna have loam here. One, two, three. Land, please. Swiss Spear isn't going to accomplish much here, so especially with Creeping Chill going on. Okay. Once again, their sequencing has been all types of terrible. Sure, get another blood gassed. I mean, they still very much may win this game simply because our draw has been equally miserable. Alright, face is the place, I guess. I guess at this point we'll just place Swizzy Spear and attack. Okay. Yep, that's a pretty good one. Just can't beat this kind of nonsense, unfortunately. Can't keep the 4-lander. Can't really gamble on the 1-lander either. So we're probably just going to lose this match because of... Actually, is this a hand we can gamble on? Swift Spear, if we draw land, Lava Spike, Skewer the Critics. Let's put back Clothis. Guess we gamble on this hand. It's not great, but at least it's something, I suppose. Then backed up by double Skullcrack. So if they keep a slower dredge hand, this hand might get there. But once again, requires us to draw lands. This is Lightning Axe. We're in a lot of trouble. Yep, it's Lightning Axe. Cool. Didn't have any other dredgers. Alright. There's a gamble here. That way we at least can set up awkward. Get a haggle or something here. Nope. Feels like a Stinkweed Imp. Yep. Pass turn. Okay. Stinkweed Imp to beatdowns. Okay. Go. Hopefully we don't have like a Lightning Axe here or something. I guess Lightning Axe alone doesn't really particularly matter. Okay. Loam. Feels like love. Nice. Nice to steal a win from Dredge without actual graveyard hate. On to the fifth match. We are back for the fifth and final match against the Euron deck. Sands of Mulligan, unfortunately. 4 lands, just not good. 5 lands, even worse. Sure, for a 5-card hand, this hand's reasonable. Back Blaze and Riftbolt. Hope we rip lands. Okay. Step number 1. Okay. We lead on. Let's go to GG, see here, see if they bolt it, Gal blast it, any of the above, and then land. Eidolon. Trigger. Codal. So they're 4-color. Hard to beat the 4-color snow piles. Sure. Yep, that was annoying. Notably, no land drop. Not the best situation. Trade off one of these for a Codal, but at the same time, gotta push damage. Alright, that's a way to get your land drops, I suppose. Sure, because we can beat multiple rows. Okay. Card that is the bane of my existence. Let's bring in these guys. Bring in the skull cracks. Searing Blaze obviously can answer Codal, but if they don't have Codal, it's kind of whatever. See if this Clothis package can actually do something in this matchup. Let's gotta click on the Urion. That's fine. Keep. Yep. With the perfect mana. Guess no snow deck leaves home without it. So, Lightning Helix or Codal? Feels like Lightning Helix. Thanks. Sure. So effectively gain 1. Family growth, sure. Weather the storm, we could be in some trouble. Sure. All right. I'm gonna say if that draw can't be a snow deck, I honestly don't know what draw can. That was like one of our best draws on the play, and it still feels like they were close to stabilizing. These snow decks are something else. The fact that you can play a 4-color mana base without ever fetching the 4th color is so stupid. You have to keep his hand, but it's probably quite likely not good enough. Alright, makes it a little bit better. So we're probably getting Helix done too. Most likely. Running 6. Okay. Uru or Lightning Helix would be the worst thing for us here. I guess timely reinforcements would also be terrible. Cool. Okay. Okay. I don't know how we're supposed to win this stupid game. Puts them to till 12, attack puts them to 10. Sure. Okay, effectively get to go to 8. Going to 7. So I can go to the... Alright, so touch shock, go to 8. This is 10, 5. Deck, you truly hate me. So many draws there would have been lights out, but going to 3 and then back up to 9, and then they get to escape a row. I'll end up playing them at 10. Disappointing 3-2. Very disappointing. Alright. On to the wrap. So back with a quick wrap up with Bosiedon's Green Splash and Boros Burn with Incinerator. What can you say? I mean, we beat the rando decks, we lose to the top tier decks. We lost to Gabos, we lost to Bant. Or no, 4 colors no in a kind of back and forth game. We gave ourselves the most outs to try to win. Could have gotten a 4-1 there maybe. Uh, Deck's good. Green Splash, still undetermined if it's worth it. I mean, it's really about all I have to say. You know, we beat Dredge because of Incinerator. Like, obviously, there are some draws with Incinerator that are just risky. We saw, like, Game 2 against Dredge that I had a high-risk, high-reward hand, mulligan to 5 with a chance to drop Incinerator. You know, it's just kind of... I don't even know. Like, it feels like it helps in a lot of matchups. Like, I never really saw it much against Snow. You know, that was just kind of a hammer on hammer kind of game, and, you know, there at the end, our opponent just cast 3 timely reinforcements. You know, it's really hard to beat a deck that's got Lightning Helixes, timely reinforcements, Uros. You know, it's just really difficult to beat that kind of style of life gain after life gain after life gain after life gain without seeing something like Chandra's Incinerator. You know, it's kind of like the only hammer we have that can, like, keep up with that kind of a pounding. So, still not 100% sure how to board against Snow with these matchups. You know, even with the more traditional version, I don't have a solid sideboard plan for that matchup. I just think that deck might be just too good, unfortunately. I think it's the only outlier in the entire Modern format that's just kind of absurd. You know, there are very few decks that can legitimately challenge its power, like Tron and Dredge are probably the only 2 decks that can, like, consistently probably have a favorable matchup, and everything else is kind of 50-50 or worse against it. You know, even Burn, you know, kind of struggles against that kind of value. One deck I could see coming back and maybe challenging them a little bit is Fae. But I don't even know that Fae has, like, the necessary, like, grindy tools to fight through all the nonsense and stuff. But, you know, that's definitely a deck I could see coming back and, like, giving Bant fits. But, alas, another 3-2. I mean, I shouldn't complain. We finally got our 40th qualifier point. You know, that'll qualify us for the format championship qualifier in 9 days. So now it's just a matter of, like, tuning Burn at this point. I don't think Jund, you know, obviously the second Jund video will be out before this one. I don't think Jund's in a good enough place to continue working on to try to, you know, both do well in that event as well as the Mana Trader series. You know, I'll probably be taking a look at decks like Gruul and Dust Shadow a little bit more closely now that I've got more reps with the Incinerator Burn under my belt. But, you know, Burn is Burn. Burn is good. You know, people are bringing the hate, you lose. People aren't bringing the hate, you win. And then there are some matchups that are just rough, period. Like Gabos is rough because they have Sling Gang, Lieutenant, and the combo, which, you know, that's one thing. That was the one thing in this league that maybe I was just supposed to kill Snoop. And it's much like the situation where against Devoted Druid, whenever I was first testing this card, I think in the very first league, is sometimes you have to forgo the ability to cast Incinerator and just kill the obvious combo on board. You know, Modern's a format that doesn't award making the wrong play, and sometimes if your opponent is representing something, sometimes they legitimately have it, like, you know, Thought Seizing into a Bala Summer. You know, so Modern, it's an interesting format right now, although I still think Snow is very clearly the top dog. So, anywho, this has been John for MTG Nexus with more Incinerator Burn.